Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Etheria restart video, and today I'm going to show you a quick, very reliable, very free-to-play friendly auto farming team for Aurora all the way up to about Hell 4. Now, I think this team could farm on Inferno as well. I think my gear isn't ready. I think I need to put some more levels into my characters, but this thing is 100% lock-it-in reliable for a Hell 4 auto farm, and that's pretty dang good. Now, I want to start things off by throwing a graphic on the screen. This is the team comp that I use, but a couple of these are replaceable. Now, I said free to play friendly, and people are going to see Yelly and be like, yeah, right, free to play friendly. No. That DPS slot on this comp is very replaceable. I use Yelly because she's my most built DPS. You could use Rosa, you could use Chiata, you can use Didding. All of those characters will work, and there's probably a multitude of other DPS characters that you could slot in there. In fact, there are some very slow clear comps for Aurora, even into Inferno, that kind of don't even have a DPS character, but I'm not interested in like 10-minute farming runs. Okay, a support Valerian, Lingluo, and Viper. That's the rest of the lineup. Now, that support character that I use, Mia, that's a very replaceable character. This is where many people who have Lily will use Lily, or people who have Tsukiyomi will use Tsukiyomi, or people who will use some like cooldown reduction right here, or just another healer like regular Chiaki can slot in there just fine. That slot is very adjustable, but I like having heals, I like having cooldowns, I like having turn meter boost, some kind of support character right there, or even a secondary DPS if your Valerian, Lingluo, and Viper are like super built up. Now, Valerian, everybody has Valerian, use Valerian. If you don't have her, spend $1. She's great. Lingluo, I'm going to show you like what skills I have maxed on these characters, but Lingluo is absolutely vital for this fight, and I'll show you why. And then Viper is my dispeller. I think he's about the best dispeller for this fight. However, other dispellers could work. You have Heinrich there, you have Holden, there are other characters that you could bring in for that. Now, before we jump into the fight, I want to show you like what characters I have invested. My Yelly is my most invested DPS, and that's why I'm using her. You can see she's got a max skill 2, max skill 3, Use Messiah if you have him super maxed out. This is like really a replaceable character. My Mia, my slot 2 like support character there, not invested into at all. She's just level 45. That's it. So no skill ups there. Lingluo, I maxed skill 1, and this is a very big deal for this fight. You need to max skill 1 on Lingluo to get the most out of her. By maxing that out, you get the 2 turns of the Whale Prayer, and that 2-turn Whale Prayer will keep that little buff on your allies that heals them for a % of their HP at their turn. It's super important in this fight to cleanse the debuff that the boss is going to put on you so you can knock her enrage mechanic off and do your full damage. That's the mechanic for this fight. It's like healing enough to remove the boss's mechanic. Lingluo can do it by herself. Mine can for Hell 4, can't quite for Inferno because she just doesn't have the gear and the shells yet for that. But that's all the maxing I've done there. Now, for my Valerian, I think everybody's Valerian is kind of the same thing. We're all just running a Valerian with a max skill 3. If you haven't done that yet, it's like one of the most OP things in the game. And then my Viper is super invested into. Now, when I started this run, the only thing I had maxed on Viper was his skill 3 to get that to a 3-turn cooldown. That's all I really had at the start. That's probably all you need, and you probably don't even need that much. I've maxed him the rest of the way out because I use him for PvP. Still, you don't have to do all of that, and if you have a Heinrich or a Holden, they can slot in there as well. I've just found that Viper is the best one for this fight, and my Viper is super invested into on my account, so I've been using him. Now, for this boss, the debuff that I'm talking about is she gathers accumulated anger on herself and puts a curse shield on your allies. So you want to knock accumulated anger stacks off of her by doing damage. But if you have curse shield that she applies onto you, you only have a 25% chance of knocking the accumulated anger stack off. So you need to get rid of the curse shield. The way you get rid of the curse shield is by healing. You heal to remove the curse shield. Let me show you how that works in a fight using this comp. Now, I have tried this comp in Inferno. it like does really well until the boss is about half HP, 40% HP, and then just runs out of steam. So watch what happens right here. This is Hell 4, and this is going to go really, really well. I guarantee it. Now, my Viper is going to go first. I think you could have Lingluo go first, and it would actually be just fine, but no big deal. Viper's going to dispel the immunity from the boss, and then Lingluo is going to come out here with her big heal and remove the debuff from the whole team. Now, we can start knocking her stacks off. We're going to get a second heal right here from Mia. That's like a backup heal just to keep the team healthy, and in case the Lingluo's healing wasn't enough, that will help you knock that debuff off, because now my DPS characters come out here and this boss just went from 15 stacks down to 3. So there we go. Boom, we knocked her down to 3 stacks. That's what we're talking about. And because nobody's debuffed, every time we hit her now, we've knocked all her stacks off. She's no more stacks, and we've done it. Her like enrage mechanic is removed, and managing that enrage mechanic is kind of the key to this fight. She went ahead, gave herself 15 of them again. We need to knock our curse shield off, so it's time for our healers to come through here in a second. She still has 10 stacks. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, she does her big AoE. She's sitting on those 10. Here we go, Ling. Remove them. She does her AoE heal. It removes them from a lot of our characters. And then with the Mia doing her thing, with the whale prayers ticking, that is enough to remove it. And that's why whale prayer is such a big deal. Now we've knocked her mechanic down to 4. Viper knocks it down to 3. Here we go. Down to 2. Viper's going to finish it off right here. We've removed it. There we go. We did it again. So that's what you just want to do. All the stacks you don't remove, she converts into anger. You don't want to let her get 15 anger stacks, because at 15 stacks, Aurora immediately uses Lingering Grudge to counterattack, and that's undispellable. Basically, here's how that works. If she gets that to 15, she gets another big giant AoE attack into your team. You're already sustaining through one of her big giant AoE attacks. If you give her back-to-back big giant AoE attacks and you let her just start going off on you like that, you're gonna wipe. So that's why I bring the 2 healers. That's why I have the Valerian. It's why I just make sure I can heal through that debuff she's putting on me, so I can like, 1, do more damage, because that debuff does reduce your damage. It reduces your damage by 50% on Hell 4. It reduces damage by 90% in Inferno. So you just like, that's why Ling is so important for this fight. Like right here, everybody's got Curse Shield on, so we're having a harder time knocking these accumulated anger stacks off. But here we go. Here's our backup healer, Mia, coming out. She heals everybody, knocks that debuff off. Now we can begin removing stacks. She's at 11 stacks. If we let her convert 11 of those stacks over into anger stacks, we'd be in trouble. Instead, well, we basically killed her. I mean, she's at like 0.0% 1 HP. Anyway, we put off her enrage mechanic long enough that she died. That wasn't the cleanest run I've ever had right there. And that's one of the problems with Yelly, is Yelly's pretty RNG heavy, right? You either get a bunch of follow-up attacks or you don't. Sometimes we kill that in around like 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Sometimes it takes like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Either way, that is a very reliable, very auto-based team that's pretty free-to-play friendly. And I know, again, like people are going to say, yeah, you have Yelly maxed out. Use whatever DPS character you want. Valerian's $1, and you probably have her anyway. Viper's an SR character. Lingluo, everybody got for free. And like Mia is replaceable by like Chiaki or like another support character. Kachi the Guard. You could probably use Kachi the Guard there, and that would be fine. So it's a very free-to-play friendly little template that I use for this fight. So like, if you want to see that template again, just head back kind of the start of the video. I lead off by showing it, and I hope this helps you guys set up an auto farm for like Aurora Hell. Once I can reliably auto and farm Aurora Inferno, which I think is just going to take better gear on my Lingluo more than anything else, so she can remove those debuffs by herself, and I can slot out that Mia for like a Rosa, which I need to build up my Rosa a little bit too, better DPS gear. I just need to make some more progression. I'm aware of the slow run teams out there, where it's basically you're running like 2 dispellers, you're running sustain, and you just beat the boss in like 9 to 10 minutes. I don't know, that's too long for me. I don't really like that, so I'm looking for a quicker way, like a 2 to 3 minute run. That's my goal. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.